Hello, and welcome to Corks and Cauldron, where two friends uncork a bottle, cast a few spells, and dive deep into fantasy books and theories. I'm Gabby.
And I'm Jen. Quick disclaimer, this is an adult podcast about adult books. So expect some spicy language, spicy content, and spicy spoilers.
So let's pour a drink and grab a snack and get started. Today we're covering chapters 12 through 17 of Gild from the Plated Prisoner series. So Jen, what did you prepare for a snack today?
Well, I didn't prepare it today, but I am preparing it tonight with dinner because we're having steaks. I am making a bacon mac and cheese. So before I explain to you guys about my bacon mac and cheese, know that this recipe is going to start off as a stovetop mac and cheese. Yes, I know traditional Southern mac and cheese goes in the oven. Do I want to do that? No, because I want it to be easier for you and me to cook it.
Which one has less dishes? That's the one that I want to cook.
This is going to be 2 pots and maybe a casserole dish. And you honestly don't even have to bake it if you don't want to. That's just like if you want to put it in the oven with some extra cheese, shredded on top, and some extra
almost
bacon
crusty
to give it a crusty top, then you can do it. If that is not your jam, you can just go straight into the pot and do it that way instead, the stovetop. So, because what I do is I get there are these little round, they're called ditalini pastas.
Never heard of those.
It's really cute. They're just little round circles like Cheerios, but they're pasta.
Oh, okay.
And they're just a little thicker than that. It's like they take manicotti and cut it into pieces. So that's kind of, anyway, you take that. And then my cheese sauce has Velveeta. Yes, I am using Velveeta. And yes, I also know that that's not really cheese. I don't care. It tastes good and it melts really nice. And then I take cheddar cheese, usually sharp or extra sharp. Right now, John smoked some cheese.
Ooh, so it's going to be a smoky mac and cheese.
Yep. What I'm going to do is I'm going to shred it, my little shredder, and I'm going to mix that with the melted Velveeta. They're going to go together while my pasta's boiling. I'm going to do that. Once it's completely melted, by then the pasta is already done, just so you know, because it does not take long to cook. Pasta's been drained. Dump it in the cheese sauce, and then we made bacon for breakfast. So I've got like that thick cut from Costco bacon, and I will kind of dice it up a little and toss it in. You can also use bacon bits for this. Do not use imitation bacon bits, because my understanding is they will dissolve and you're not going to get the same texture that you're going to get from actually using bacon. But you can use whatever bacon you want.
As long as it's real bacon.
As long as it's real bacon.
Well, real bacon as a not imitation.
Correct.
Bits. Yeah.
No bacon bits. So however you want to do it that way. You can just mix all that up in your one pot that had the cheese sauce in it. And I will put sizes and measurements. I promise you, it'll be on the Instagram post. But you can do that. And then if you want to, put it into a casserole dish. I have like a little 2-quart one because it's just John and I.
Yeah.
It's just my husband and I. So I don't make 6 or 8 serving.
The big family size. Yeah.
Mac and cheese. I just cut down the recipe to a size that's a little bit more user-friendly for me. So I use a little 2-quart pan. It's glass. It's like a Pyrex. And you spray it, put the mac and cheese in it, and then you shred some more cheese on top. If you want to buy shredded cheese, buy shredded cheese. I do not care. It is what makes you happy, not what makes me happy.
You're not going
to
be offended
do not
by
like
the
sharp or extra
cheese.
Sharp cheddar cheese, do not use that. Use pepper jack if that is what makes you happy. You know, I'm not going to judge you for your cheese choices.
I will.
You do you.
I'll judge.
But, sprinkle some on top and maybe turn the broiler on. Toss that in there for just a few minutes under the broiler. Watch that stuff because the broiler is fast. So you're only going to need like a minute or two, or else smoke will start coming out of your oven and things will be burning. And yes, that is from experience.
It's like that one does sound like it was from experience.
I have done things before that are not good, and that was one of them. So that's the bacon mac and cheese. What are we drinking with it?
The drink tonight, we're sticking with the smoky vibes. We're going to go with a smoked old fashioned. I am not drinking that right now because I don't have any bitters. But all you need 2 ounces of bourbon, ½ ounce of simple syrup, 2 dashes of bitters, and if you want to garnish, you can garnish with an orange peel and a cherry. And then I have a smoker kit, so I will smoke it, and I'll post videos and pictures on the gram and Facebook as well.
And you know where to get those smoker kits.
I do know where. Yes. So those who don't know, I have a small side hustle, Wayward Gifts, and we sell those. So hit me up for your smoker needs. Whiskey smokers, not fun smokers.
She's going to link that too.
Yeah, I can. Yeah. But yeah, and that's a good smoked old fashioned. If you've never had a smoked old fashioned, it's a complete game changer. They're way better than regular old fashions, in my opinion. So, and then for our sober friends, our dry friends, we have a smoky maple lemonade, which this sounds interesting to me anyway, so I might try it. But it's 1 ounce of fresh lemon juice, ½ ounce of maple syrup, 3 ounces of water or sparkling water, and a dash of liquid smoke. And then you can garnish with a lemon wheel or a rosemary sprig. So yeah, I'll probably try to get a video or some photos of that one too, because that one sounds really interesting. Right. Speaking of stuff to do, that was a terrible segue. I am so sorry. But tell us about mythology and or psychology, I guess.
Yeah, we don't have any mythology today because I'm going to be honest with you guys. Pretty much all of the mythology we needed was covered in the first episode, since the original Midas myth is what prompted this book. So we probably won't have any more mythology, but we will talk about other things like psychology behind Stockholm Syndrome, or expanding on the world building, like talking about a little bit more of the map, maybe plants, animals, food, drinks, how crazy the people are in the Fourth Kingdom. We'll get around to something.
Kingdom. Yeah.
It's going to be great. So again, no mythology today. I do want to talk about something a bit more serious, since this is something our girl Oren is absolutely the poster girl for, Stockholm Syndrome. Now, if you are uncomfortable listening to or discussing this, this might be a great time to go make one of Gabby's drinks and come back in a little bit when we're doing the chapter recaps before we start getting into the chapters. So if you still want to stay, please stay and listen, because I learned some stuff today about Stockholm Syndrome that I did not know about. So in case you don't know what it is, Stockholm Syndrome is a psychological response that causes survivors of abuse to sympathize with their abuser. It's considered a coping mechanism. It's not a mental health diagnosis, which I did not know until I was reading the articles for this.
Like, I swear we've seen and or heard stuff about people using it as an actual diagnosis.
Yes, but Asperger's also used to be a disease, and now it's just a form of autism. So things with psychology are constantly changing. So we're going to be nice to them about this.
Fine.
Stockholm Syndrome is commonly linked to high-profile kidnappings and hostage situations. Aside from famous criminal cases, regular people can also develop this condition in response to various types of trauma. So over the course of time, what happens is victims come to develop positive feelings toward their captors. They may even begin to feel like they share common goals and causes. The victim may start to develop negative feelings toward the police or authorities, and may resent anyone who may be trying to help them escape from the situation that they're in. And we will see that happening in this book.
Yeah.
Or book 2.
I'm pretty sure it starts in this book.
It starts in Gild, and then it will carry on to the next book. So this does not happen with every hostage or victim, just so you know. And they're not really sure why it does happen when it does. Many psychologists and medical professionals consider Stockholm Syndrome a coping mechanism, which I've already said. It's a way to help the victims handle the trauma of the terrifying situation, and the history of the syndrome might help us explain that. So you're wondering what the history is, right? They've decided that it's probably been occurring for decades, if not centuries, but it wasn't until like 1973 that this response got its name.
That's so recent.
Yeah.
That's not that long ago.
Now, for some people, this is like forever ago. Yes, I am talking about my little Gen Zers?
Gen Zers or Gen Alphas?
My sweet baby Gen Zer and sweet Alphas. And
Sweet
Gen
baby
Alphas, that
Alphas.
did not hurt. But for people like me who are Gen X, because we're just going to skip over the fact that I can't talk. I was aware of this because I think I was born 3 years after it was named. So, Stockholm Syndrome got its name when 2 men held 4 people hostage in a bank robbery in Stockholm, Sweden. After the hostages were released, they refused to testify against their captors and even began raising money for their defense. So after these hostages started raising the money for the defense, psychologists and mental health experts assigned the term Stockholm Syndrome to this condition, which again occurs when hostages develop an emotional or psychological connection to the people that are holding them in captivity. Despite it being well known, it is not recognized in the new edition of Diagnostic and Statistical Medicine of Mental Disorders.
What do you mean it's not in there?
It says it's not in there according to the article that I read.
Well, I guess if it's a reaction,
I will say that this article, the article that I took the bulk of this out of, is from like 2019.
Oh, it's ancient psychological time.
I know. But it had the best information.
Yeah.
So it's why I picked it.
Well,
and a lot of the newer articles kind of rehashed things that he had that were hit on in this. So
it's a coping mechanism. It's not actually. So I guess that makes sense.
So I want to talk about the symptoms of Stockholm Syndrome.
Let's see how many orange shows.
The victim develops positive feelings toward the person holding them captive or abusing them. The victim develops negative feelings toward the police, authority figures, or anyone who is trying to get them away from their captor. They may even refuse to cooperate.
At this point, not a check.
Not yet.
Not yet.
And the third one, the victim begins to perceive their captor's humanity and believes that they have the same goals and values.
I will
say, she definitely has that.
Check, but it's changing.
Yeah.
We're starting to see those cracks.
Yes. But right now, where we are in the book, I mean, she may be on shaky ground with him, but she believes in what Midas is doing.
Yeah, she believes he's doing it all for the greater good.
Yeah. So now some high-profile cases that you might recognize. If you're Gen X, maybe not necessarily any younger people.
You leave us millennials alone, okay? We've had it hard enough.
Okay, fair. Patty Hearst, which is probably the most famous one. She was the granddaughter of a businessman and newspaper publisher, William Randolph Hearst. She was kidnapped in 1974 by the Symbionese Liberation Army, SLA. Wow. During her captivity, she renounced her family, adopted a new name, and even joined the SLA in robbing banks.
Sounds like a Tuesday.
After she was arrested, she used Stockholm Syndrome as a defense in her trial. And it did not work. She was sentenced to 35 years in prison.
How do you know?
Natasha Kampusch, in 1998, the then 10-year-old Natasha was kidnapped and kept underground in a dark, insulated room. Her kidnapper, Wolfgang, whose last name I am not going to attempt, Wolfgang P., because that's the first initial, held her captive for more than 8 years. During this time, he showed her kindness, but he also beat her and threatened to kill her. Natasha was able to escape, and Wolfgang committed suicide. And news accounts at the time reported that Natasha wept inconsolably when she found out.
She was with him for 10 years, and she was 10. I don't know if we can blame her for that one.
I don't think that I could either.
Being kidnapped at 10, all your formative years happened under his tutelage, I guess. His abuse.
Yeah.
Abuse is really what it was.
Everything that you're going to learn about love.
Not from this book.
Well, not from this book.
Don't call it love in this
for
book.
Natasha.
Oh, okay.
Everything that she's learning about love, because I mean, when you're younger than 10, a lot of it you don't remember.
Yeah. But when you're 10, you're starting to remember everything. Yeah. You're starting to observe how other people act, how your parents or your guardians, whoever.
And that's where you learn how to love,
communicate,
both other people and yourself.
Mm-hmm.
How to communicate with people and just how to function in society.
Conflict resolution. Yeah, all of that.
Those are formative years, which you already
and
said.
18, yeah.
You said the F word already, didn't you? Formative?
Yep, I did. But it's nice to know that you're on my side.
Yeah. And then the last high-profile case is Mary McElroy in 1933.
So this is a little bit
before my time, too. 4 men held 25-year-old Mary at gunpoint chained her to walls in an abandoned farmhouse, and demanded ransom from her family. When she was released, she struggled to name her captors in their subsequent trial, and she also publicly expressed sympathy for them.
How long was she there?
It doesn't say.
Well, it was in the 30s, so and she was a woman in the 30s, so she was barely a person.
Dad was the city manager of Kansas City, Missouri.
Kind of an important job.
She was taken to a farmhouse in Shawnee, Kansas, owned by Click, who was one of the people that kidnapped her. She was chained to a wall in the basement.
They took them to their own house, or they took her.
Yep. They originally demanded a sum of $60,000, but settled for $30,000. Wow. She was kidnapped on the evening of May 27th, 1933. Her dad paid the ransom of $30,000 on May 29th.
Wow. She got a Stockholm Syndrome in 2 days?
2 days.
What did they do?
I don't know. It doesn't say. I don't know if I want to know that, actually.
That's fair.
Let's be honest. I don't think I want to know.
Well, and could some of it have to do with her own personality too? Like, are some people more susceptible to it than others, maybe? I don't know.
Now, there are some other situations that Stockholm Syndrome may arise in. One of them being abusive relationships, physical, sexual, emotional, that can last for years. So if it's lasted that long, I can see you starting to feel sympathy or some kind of
the history is powerful too. Like, if you were in that relationship for years, it's hard to walk away from.
Yep. Child abuse.
You don't know any better.
Sports coaching. Being involved in sports is a great way for people to build skills and relationships. Unfortunately, some of these relationships may ultimately be negative. We actually see that football coaches, they do a lot of TV shows and stuff about football coaches that like, what do they call it when they're training them? Grooming. They groom the boys. And, harsh coaching techniques. And, that become abusive. And then when they do the right thing, the coach is all super amazing to them. And they think that a lot of it is their own fault. So it can become Stockholm Syndrome. And then the last one I've got here is the sex trafficking trade.
Check.
So individuals who are trafficked often rely on their abusers for necessities like food and water. When the abusers provide that, the victim may begin to develop positive feelings, treating them like a trusted source. So they might also resist cooperating with police for fear of retaliation or thinking they have to protect their abusers to protect themselves. So I think part of this for sex trafficking may not necessarily be love for their abusers, but embarrassment for what happened to them.
Yeah, it's survival for them.
So, but that is hardcore where our girl comes from. If you haven't read later books, just so you know, I'm not going to spoil that for you, but we'll talk about this later.
This series is a heavy series.
It is.
Especially the first 2 books.
2 books.
Yeah.
Probably 3, because the third book gets a little serious.
True. Yeah. Yeah. So if this is not the book for you, check your trigger warnings, read what you're comfortable, listen to what you're comfortable. I joke about judging people, but read what you want.
So now that we've talked all that seriousness, how about we get a chapter recap, Gabby?
Are you ready for it?
I'm ready.
These chapters and going forward are really going to start picking up on the action.
Yeah.
I feel like the last episode we left, we were kind of like, nothing really happened. It was a lot of inner reflection and a lot of growth that way. But now we're getting into some action. So I'm excited. We're going to start with chapter 12. Chapter 12. King Fulk tries to lead Oren off to cash in his deal. But she's not about that. Remember, she was not excited about this to begin with. And she digs in her heels. Before things can get any worse, though, a soldier from Fulk's army crashes the party with some explosive accusations. The entire Fifth Kingdom army has been wiped out by Fourth Kingdom and claims that Midas betrayed them by never sending his forces. Burr, burr, burr. Chapter 13. Midas confirms what we've all suspected. He is the actual worst. We hate Midas. Turns out he did betray Fulk, and it was all part of a long con to spread his gold into the Fifth Kingdom under the guise of their partnership. Naturally, this betrayal leads to an intense sword fight in a small room, because that's what happens when men fight. They fight with swords. Unfortunately, Oren gets caught in the cross swords, I guess.
Swords work.
Yep, of the chaos and ends up with a knife to her throat. But don't worry, our boy Digby comes through in the clutch, saving her by taking out a king. Digby the King Killer. Chapter 14. In Chapter 14, Midas has a bath brought up to Orin, trying to buy in her goodwill, which triggers a memory of how they first met and how he's been, quote, taking care of her ever since. Cue the trauma flashbacks. Midas drops the bomb that Fulk is a flesh trader, which again ties back to Orin's dark past and is giving another peek into her history. Like the master manipulator he is, Midas plays Orin's feelings and trauma like a fiddle, sweet-talking her until they talk things out, and somehow this leads them into banging one out, because of course it does. It's a classic toxic relationship. Chapter 15. Midas moves into the Fifth Kingdom to take care of it until the new king is chosen, which is supposedly Fulk's heir. He's got a son. In theory,
yeah, they're waiting for him to come of age.
So we totally believe that Midas is doing this out of the goodness of his heart. And naturally, Orin has to go with them because she's part of the whole Gilded entourage. Midas lies to the Sixth Kingdom, claiming that Fulk was assassinated by King Ravenger, because why not add some propaganda to this mix? We also learn that he sent a decoy Orin down to Fifth Kingdom first and left Orin at the castle and brought her down later. Orin reflects on Midas's real power, saying, people know about Midas's golden touch, but his golden tongue, to me, that is his true power. She's talking about how he managed to spin these lies to all of his people about what happened with Fulk and how Fulk was assassinated instead of betrayed and murdered. But foreshadowing on that one, pay attention to that line. And on Orin's way out, guess who spots her? None other than Queen Melina spots Orin being escorted out of the palace, and she is not okay with that. She finds out that Midas lied to Queen Melina, and she's pissed. And I don't know if I blame her. Chapter 16. Chapter 16 begins her journey into the Fifth Kingdom, leaving behind the gilded cage, which brings up all sorts of emotions for her. Along the way, we meet Sale. We love Sale. He's a charming addition to this cast who immediately wins us over. Orin surprises everyone, and maybe even herself, by leaving the comfort of her carriage ride to ride a horse. I love this, because she hops on the horse and she rides astride, so one leg on either side, which is scandalous. But she hasn't been outside for 10 years. She doesn't want to hang out inside a stuffy carriage when she could be outside on a horse, and she knows how to ride, so we love that for her. Okay, Chapter 17. The big adventure outside of the castle continues, and she's finally getting her first taste of the real world in a decade. Orin is marveling at the sun and the wind like she's just emerged from a dungeon, because, that's kind of accurate. Yeah. Her interactions with the guards, especially Digby and Sale, bring some much-needed levity. Sale's charm and humor are breaths of fresh air, and Orin starts experiencing something that could look like friendship, maybe? This might be her first friend. Who knew that talking to people could be enjoyable? And that is it. That is my chapter recap on chapters 12 through 17. Those are very, very shallow dives.
Compared to what was in the chapters, yeah. It really is.
Very much skimming the surface.
Are you ready for a deep dive?
Let me get my snorkel ready.
You want me to start the deep dive? I can do that for you.
Oh, no. Yeah, go ahead.
So we'll start with chapter 12, of course. Deep dive, betrayal, broken hearts, and big nope energy. So first we're going to talk about Orin's defiance, standing up and speaking out. This is the first public stand against Midas and Fulk, refusing to comply with the deal. She is not going. For the first time, she openly defies Midas, not just in private. And we're not just talking about her saying his first name in front of
people.
Advisors.
Yeah.
This is an entire room, 200 plus people. It's a party, including another king. And she throws it out with, I am the king's favored. Despite what I look like, I am not a coin to be spent.
Good girl.
This is a significant callback to her internal struggle with her appearance. To everybody else, her golden skin makes her valuable, a prize to be traded and used. But to her, it's just a constant source of, it's really a constant reminder of how they don't think that she's as human as they are.
She's a possession.
She's a possession. And this is her first attempt to reclaim her identity and say, I'm more than this.
I love that. I love that for her.
And I think that it's one of the first times we see her just openly going, Look,
It's too much.
I'm a person to.
Yeah.
You can't just like toss me. I mean, honestly, they can because she's a saddle. It's her job. It is what it
Job.
is, unfortunately.
Yeah.
She agreed to be a saddle. It is what it is. But I don't think at 15 years old she understood what she was agreeing to.
I don't even know if
And
she
I don't think she
necessarily.
really had a choice.
I think she was manipulated into it. I think
Yeah.
it was one of those, I'm doing this. The only way you can come with me is if you're a saddle.
Exactly.
Sucks. But let's talk about Folk's violence and his villain status. I think it was episode 1 or 2 maybe where I was kind of like defending Folk and being like, he's just a man living in that society. Can we really hold it against him? And I stand by that. However, he also sucks. And both things can be true. He ends up hitting Orin, like just slapping her across the face because she defied him. And that's never okay. It really just kind of cements how entitled and vile and gross and toxic that environment is that she's living in. At one point, he demands to Midas that he should have her head for Orin talking to him that way. And Midas, being the Prince Charming,
wonderful.
yeah, the Prince Charming that he is, responds with, well, I gave you her cunt, not her head. And like, I have never wanted to rage punch a wall so much as I did when I read that. Like, are you kidding me? What?
Is it bad when I pictured him saying that super casually the way he did?
Oh,
It was
he
like
100% was
he
like,
was resand,
yeah, picking lint off.
picking
Yeah,
lint off, checking his nails.
yeah, it just an
And that just made it
absolute
worse for me.
entitled douche. I hated
Mhm.
it. Hated it. Ugh.
Which turns around to Orin being devastated by his callousness. And she asks him, aren't I worth more than this? And just like that, he just drives another dagger into her heart, reminding her that she's his and that he will spend her as he sees fit.
Gross.
Which she perfectly sums up exactly how she's feeling in this by saying, I've never heard a heart shatter, but it sounds like a crack spreading up glass. And I can hear that in my head. If you've ever had a rock hit your windshield,
Mm-hmm.
you know what this sound is.
Yeah.
And this is definitely a breaking point for Orin. Every act of defiance she's attempted, every hope she's held on to that he might care for her still, he's just crushed it.
Midas doesn't care for her. And
He does not give a shit.
That is a hill I will die on, and I don't think I'm going to have to die on that hill. But I like this book series. I like Raven as an author. I think she does a great job. There is a lot of like glass and crack spreading metaphors that we're seeing in these chapters. So does that come to play later, or is that just her overusing a metaphor, do you think?
I don't think she puts anything in here unintentionally.
Midas orders his guards to escort Orin to Folk's room. So he's putting his foot down. He is saying, I can spend you however I want. You are in fact a coin to be spent, and you have a job to do. And Orin fights back, which we have never seen her really do before. She's not only digging her heels, but she is struggling. But she's weak. Remember 2-3 chapters ago, they spent a whole time talking about how physically weak she is and really driving that home. And she doesn't stand a chance against trained, armed guards.
Only 2 or 4 of them. It's fine.
Yes. So yeah, eventually she is starting to get dragged to the rooms to fulfill her deal, her promise. And Folk really has a thing for hitting women, proving it once again by yelling, I'll belt you, quote, I'll belt you this night until your golden skin is welted. And I don't know who hurt this man. Okay, I get it. It's a society that he lives in. I know I defended it. It doesn't make it okay if no one grows from it, but
definitely not.
Looking at it through a lens of 2024 women, like
2025
of 2025 and like in a happy, healthy relationship, this just blows my mind,
Now, luckily for our girl, a soldier from Folk's army bursts into the hallway with news. Now, keep in mind, most of this stuff is happening outside of the ballroom. So King Folky is out here.
Partygoers are wandering out.
Partygoers, for the most part, are in the room, but there might be some wandering out here. But a soldier bursts into the hallway with news. He's barely alive, having flown a timberwing, which is a giant-ass bird, all night to deliver this urgent message to him. And Midas comes in, ever the showman, and is like, hey, let's go ahead and take this into another room, which is, they called it a letter room, which it just has piles and piles of ink and parchment and
it sounds like it's like right by the door. So it's probably where they do like write the letters that need to be delivered.
And, they take him in there. Also, in case you didn't already know about his 6 fetish, Midas isn't by himself. He's got 5 guards plus Digby.
Total of 6.
With him, so a total of 6 guards. But I just wanted that Digby is with these people because
we love Digby.
Is our boy.
He will never abandon Orin.
And this is where that poor soldier who is bleeding and freezing, they talk about how red his skin is.
He's out of breath. He's sprinting.
Yeah. He lets Folk know that his entire army has been decimated by the Fourth Kingdom. And I want to point out that right at the beginning, he's like staring at Midas and going, sir, can I talk to you in private?
The soldier tried to
I do not want... He puts a table in between himself and everyone else in the room because safety. He lets him know that the entire army has been decimated by the Fourth Kingdom and Midas's men, because Folky's like, no, we've already been told that this went off without a hitch. Are you a deserter?
Yep.
What did you do? And this guy is like, we did not take the Fourth Kingdom. And as a matter of fact, Midas's men were never even there. Dun, dun, dun. Midas betrayed him.
Fucking Midas, man. Midas is just
trash.
I was going to say a master manipulator, but trash also works. Yeah.
Narcissistic pig. It's fine
too. Yeah. I think this is also really setting this up to know how much of a manipulator Midas is and how ambitious he is. So yes, he's taken over Fifth Kingdom now, but what's next?
Yeah.
What's after that?
Yeah, and he thought, I'm going to look at the map, I'm sorry, because I've forgotten the name. He actually Folk thought that they took Cliffhelm.
Which that's like not. Right on the border.
Isn't that right on the border?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of 4th and 5th.
It just so happened that his King Rot's soldiers were training there.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Who could have seen that coming, Midas?
So the people they're better trained soldiers in the first place. And to only have half of the army that you thought was going to be there,
not great.
This was a warm up for them.
Yeah, not great.
And then we get to find out about the long con, because Midas, we see here just how good Midas is at manipulating people. So not just Orin, other kings as well.
Because they had been allies for years.
6 years?
Well, Orin's been in the castle for 10.
For a decade.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
And during this whole time, Midas was turning whatever Folk wanted into gold.
Yep.
And then Folk would take it back home and duplicate it. Because remember, he had the power of duplication. So now Midas has a second bank account full of gold in a different kingdom.
Yep.
Crazy. Anyway, Folk tries to deny the soldier's report. Folk is still Team Midas. He would never do that. We're allies. You're just a dumb soldier. What are you talking about? Mm-hmm. And then Midas steps in and is actually, your soldier's right. I'm a piece of shit. He doesn't say that, but...
Oh, I was going to say, I don't remember that line in the book at all.
He is super smug in this whole interaction, and it's so infuriating. And the line that he drops to Folk is, let this be your last life lesson. True kings don't give out their armies for cunts. And one, I don't know why everyone is obsessed with cunts. I don't get it. Why is this such a big deal? And two, why? Midas, why? What? It's a true statement, but you didn't have to be a dick about it. Midas is breaking alliances here, left and right. He's twisting the knife, and he's making it clear that Folk's downfall was orchestrated by none other than Midas himself. If Folk was smart, he would know that by Midas revealing his hand like that, Folk is not walking out of the room alive. No one is walking out of that room alive.
I
We talked about this a little bit. Go ahead.
The biggest thing that I noticed from this one is, like, Folk plays the game as a king, and we know Midas had a low beginning. He doesn't play like a king. He kind of reminds me of, if you've ever seen Game of Thrones, there is a guy in there that's not a knight, but he's amazing, and I'm gonna not remember his name at all, no matter how hard I try. Excuse me while I go to IMDb and search Game of Thrones, because I have to know his name. I'm sorry. But there is a scene where he is in a duel fighting for someone's life, and the other guy goes, "You cheated." This is right before he kills him.
Sure.
He says something about, "You cheated," and he said, "Of course I did. I'm not a knight."
Like, I play by my rules. Yeah.
Is basically like what he told him. He's basically living by the rules of the street and how you survive where he grew up.
You got to be sneaky. You got to be smarter, tougher, and better than the other guy. Whereas kings, they have their sets of rules and decorum and...
Exactly.
But to their point, there was, like, Midas is completely ignoring treaties that have been in place for centuries. What is that going to do to the rest of the kingdom?
What do you mean? It's fine.
It's not. It's not fine. It's not.
It's fine. I'm never going to find this dude. Do you know how many people were in Game of Thrones, guys?
1,000.
So many people. There he is. His name is Bronn. Bronn of the Blackwater. And I loved him. My point was that Midas is like Bronn. He doesn't follow the same rules.
No, you're right, though. I mean, Midas grew up not a king. He didn't grow up in the courts. He plays that game really well, but then he also adds a twist, right? Yeah. So, fucking Midas. I hate him. But speaking of Game of Thrones, they're in this tiny room. Midas just dropped the bomb that he betrayed Folk. Gave Folk his entire hand. It was like, I'm better than you. And it's a bunch of men in a tiny room being betrayed. So, of course, swords come out. Oren's in the middle of all this. Everyone's swinging swords at each other. Oren tries to drop to the floor because that's the best place to be, not sword level, and tries to just stay small and as invisible as possible, which works until a decapitated body falls on her. Like,
he's a little less okay at that point.
I mean, can you imagine how traumatizing that would be?
No, I don't want to.
But of course, like everything else in this book that has happened, this triggers another flashback for Oren being in a violent area, violent room, people falling dead around her. So she's struggling with like PTSD flashbacks, going back and forth, flickering past and present.
Yeah. Midas flashback.
Yeah.
Was nice. It was kind of telling about how the flashback she has is from when Midas rescued her originally.
I'm so tired of that. I'm so tired of saying that Midas rescued her. But yeah, Midas was supposed to save her from this chaos, and yet now they're in the thick of it again because of Midas.
But poor Folk. I say that, okay, that's
we go so back and forth on Folk.
Sassy on that. Do. But in his desperate attempt to stay alive and try and regain some kind of control, he grabs Oren and puts a knife to her throat, using her as a meat shield or a human shield. He's ranting about if he's going to go, he's going to take her with him. And he actually cuts her.
Just a little bit.
On her throat, just a little bit. And you see that all of his guards are dead, including the messenger. And three of Midas's guards are dead. Two of them are protecting him. And this is, again, all from Oren's point of view. Who we don't see is Digby.
Where's our boy Dig? He would never abandon her.
And
he didn't. Digby is the MVP. He comes in and he stabs Folk in the back, which sounds like he's, talking shit about Folk, but no, he literally stabs Folk in the back and yanks Oren out of the way at the same time.
Yep.
I cannot imagine that coordination. Anyway, Digby is now a king killer. Fully killed a king to save our girl. We love that. Digby doesn't kill Folk because he was ordered to. I think that's really important to point out. Midas did not order him to kill Fulk. Digby did it to protect Oren. Digby is working for Oren, not for Midas. That is a hill I'm going to die on. No one can talk me out of that. This is also one of the first times anyone has risked their life to save Oren. Usually she's just kind of tossed around, forgotten. No one's actually stood up for her and protected her. I mean, Midas has gone around and saved her, quote unquote, saved her. But I don't know how to say it without giving away a ton about Midas's savior complex, which you disagree with. You call him a narcissist and not a savior.
I do.
I think you're right. Anyway.
Now, the first thing Oren does after he saves her, and they watch Fulk gurgle, gurgle, gurgle,
the death
die,
gurgle.
die, die, is she hugs him and just says, thank you, thank you, thank you.
She goes into shock.
Like, girl does not know what to do. And Midas is like, take her up to her room. And she says something about her slippers being bloody.
She's got blood on her.
I don't think she says that out loud. She's kind of thinking about how she has blood on her. And she's just not letting go of Digby. And Digby going completely against Midas's rules. Like, this is something that would get him killed, his head chopped off and gilded. He picks her up and carries her up the 6 flights of stairs to her room.
Also, can you imagine carrying someone up 6 flights of stairs?
No.
I can't even go up 6 flights of stairs. Like,
I can barely carry my laundry up 2 flights. But in this, like, right at the end of this chapter, she says bright side like 5 times. Because she's like, I have to have a bright side. What's my bright side? What's my bright side? And then she finally says that her bright side is, at least I wasn't raped or murdered.
Yeah, the bar is on the floor in this chapter.
And it shows you just how low her expectations are for her own happiness. And it's really jarring and it's really sad to hear her say that. And I'm sure that Digby probably thought the same thing, but he can't say it because if he says it, he's going to get...
Yeah, Digby's just the guard. So he's not supposed to say anything, but...
Midas might be paying him, but he is definitely, I agree with you, he is definitely not Team Midas.
No, he is working for Oren. Yeah. Midas just signs the paycheck.
Yeah.
Speaking of Midas, moving on to the next chapter, he, of course, walks in to be the perfect rescuer. Well, after he sends in a bunch of servants to fill up a bathtub for her, which honestly is the least he could do after all of that, is to give her a bath. But yeah, he goes in and just fusses over her, like the most he's ever done in years.
It's been months.
Yeah, it's been forever.
She said something about it has been months since he spent this kind of time with me. But yeah, it's been years since he's
actually fussed over her, taken care of her. He whispers, quote, "I'm so sorry, let me take care of you." Again, he's pulling that I'm your savior in the aftermath of something that he did. He caused this. Yeah. And now he gets to swoop in and be her savior. So the "let me help you" line is another triggering moment for Oren. Because Midas has said that to her before when he first rescued her. He saved her from the streets after her village, her town that she was crashing in, I guess, for lack of a better term, was looted. A bunch of looters came in, rioters, raiders. I don't know what you're going to call them.
We'll go with raiders.
Yeah. Raiders came in and started just taking over the town. They burned houses, crops, beat up men, stole women, stole money. And Midas rescued her and said, "Let me help you." And so that's a huge triggering moment for her. After all of that she just survived, to hear those words again from Midas, that's a lot.
Oh yeah, it is. And she kind of goes back into a flashback of that time again. Like, originally it was just the raiding that happened. And him saying that just kind of takes her back to her and the other women that were in
a wagon
that had like bars on it. So they were locked into it. And he and his vigilante group, posse, whatever you want to call them, saving them, breaking open the cage or the lock to set the women free, and her realizing she had nowhere else to go. So she just went and sat in the alley. And that was the first time someone smiled at her without any kind of intention,
or
so she thought.
grossness, or it looked and felt like a genuine smile.
It really, and that's how he saved her. He helped her. He cleaned her up. He let her hide. He let her wear his cloak when she didn't want everyone staring at her because, again, she's gold. So people tended to stare. And she was able to hide. He helped hide her from the world, which becomes their entire relationship. First, it's his cloak. Then it's a giant fucking cage.
She believes that she's indebted to Midas for everything. Her survival, her current life, everything is owed to Midas. And I think that's where we see a lot of the struggle with her, is she feels that sense of loyalty to him. And it's hard not to, right? Like, I could not imagine going through that and just being like, okay, well, thanks, bye.
Yeah.
Sorry you're being mean to me.
Definitely.
But, okay. So Midas walks in, gets the bath going, drops that bomb. We get that flashback. Midas begins to undress her for the bath. And he's very proper in this moment, right? His hands don't wander. They're not doing anything gross. He's just taking off the dress that she was forced to wear.
After he unties her ribbons.
But the ribbons don't help him. The ribbons just kind of lay there. So I think that's kind of a big telling moment for us, right? Like, Oren's not even sure how she feels about him. She's not opposed to him at this point, right? Opposed to him touching her, but she's not going to rush it or welcome it, maybe.
This is going to be a little mini spoiler, but I just don't think that she had said at one point that no one knew about her ribbons, and I think this kind of reinforces that Midas himself did not know that they were active.
Yeah, that makes sense. I would assume that they knew, since
I don't think that he ever knew. But I think I said that last episode too.
Just gotta drive it home. It's been a week since we talked.
I stand by that. I think that he would have been grossed out by it. Like, honestly, let's talk about this for a second, because a lot of people that read the book, I mean, looking at Reddit, people are freaked the fuck out by her ribbons. And I don't understand why, because I think they're awesome. I think of them like some of the X-Men have gangs that just kind of come out of them. And that's kind of how I picture it. But I like books like that, like comic books and shit that have that kind of stuff in them. So her having a mutant power was not that weird for me.
You fucking nerd.
Yeah.
No, I was never like really weirded out by the ribbons. I just kind of accepted them. I was just like, when I was reading it, I was just like, oh, so she's got ribbons. I don't get it, but okay. We're going to roll with this and see what happens.
Yeah.
All fantasy books have something weird that goes on with them, right? Like,
I think so.
They're fantasy. That's kind of the point of it. So I think a lot of people have a hard time visualizing the ribbons. And like, I get that too. I don't know if I ever had like a clear picture in my head of them.
No, I don't think I did either, really.
I guess I just 6 on each side of her spine, and because she has 12, right?
12 on each side of her spine.
12 on each 24. Side. Okay.
So I just picture them as like, ribbons. Like just how she describes them.
Ribbons. Gold ribbons. They're all gold. Yeah. And they're like a satiny kind of look, I guess.
Yeah. Because they're skin.
Are they skin though?
I don't know.
I don't think they're skin, because they're like a satiny feel, aren't they? Maybe. I need to reread the whole series.
I think that's how they describe them.
Yeah.
But
so they're just ribbons on her back
that move and help her braid her hair.
Yeah. And they can either be super soft, or they can be like knives and cut things. Is that it? Is that done? Are we done with the ribbon talk?
I think we got a little distracted on the ribbon talk, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Oren's now naked. She's all naked, and Midas dumps her in the bath. He doesn't dump her in the bath. He leads her to the bath, and she gets in. He starts cleaning her. And again, this is all very like proper, very, I just want to reassure myself that you're still okay, I think is the vibe he was going for. I don't think Oren got that vibe, but I think he was trying to be, I think that's what he was attempting to portray. Do you disagree?
No, I agree.
Okay.
I think he was trying to feel her out to see how she was, because he was about to drop a bomb to reinforce what a good guy he is.
I'm so tired of these bombs.
And not the actual reason that he did what he did.
Well, he never tells her the actual reason.
No, but she figures it out later.
Yeah.
It just...
But listen, she's naive, all right? She's lived in a
and I
cage
love
for
that
10
about
years.
her. She is extremely naive. And we'll see that later in this book.
Yeah.
Like, we'll see that in a chapter or two.
Yeah, we will. So Midas is cleaning her up, cleaning the wound on her neck, washing her, reassuring himself that she's okay. And he's trying to explain what happened and how he was never going to let Folk touch her and how it was all for her own good. And, oh, by the way, Folk was a flesh trader, which is going to be a huge trigger for Oren. And he knows that. With her history, Midas knows exactly what he was saying and doing and who he was saying it to. And he frames this as, I did it for you. I wanted it so no child would have to ever endure what you did, which is just like salt in the wound. And it twists her trauma to fit his justification. And it's so infuriating. He knows exactly how to manipulate her emotions, and just to really keep her
in check.
Blindly loyal. Yeah, in check. Yeah.
He's just, he's really good at it. I like that so I love Oren. I do. Because she's so naive and she lets herself be super vulnerable in this situation. Like, he says something about, does it hurt? And she's like, she basically says that cut is minor compared to how the other hurts that she's received. And she looks him in the eye and just lets him see all the pain that he caused when he's looking her in the eye. You can just see it. And that's just, she really wants to love him still. And I think she does love him, or
I think there's a part that's always going to.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
oh yeah. But I don't think that, I'm not sure she can get over what he did.
I wouldn't. There's no way. If my boyfriend sold me off to someone else,
my
dad, and then was like, haha, just kidding, I was doing it because I wanted to kill him because he's a flesh trader, I would be so confused and hurt.
And he keeps telling her, I'm doing that. I was never going to let him touch you. I was never going to let him touch you. It was never going to get this far. Bitch. It was going to get that far, and it was going to go further. Get that
far. Yeah.
He was going to let him have his way with you. And that's when he was going to go in and kill him. Either after he was sated.
Oh, gross.
Because that would have been the best time to do it.
Well, it's right after that high.
Exactly. Or during.
Because he'd be distracted.
Exactly.
And in theory, there's going to be no guards in the room while that's happening. So.
Exactly.
Wow, that is smart.
He was going to let it happen.
Well, he's going to let it happen to an extent. Yeah, he was going to let it happen. I talked myself into it. Yeah.
Yeah. You cannot talk me out of this. He absolutely would have let it. If that messenger had not come in.
If it would have served his purpose, he would have let it go as far as it needed to.
Absolutely would have.
Fucking Midas. I feel like that's all I've been saying on this podcast.
It's okay.
After the bath, so Oren's all cleaned up. They've had their emotional moment. Now they're on okay-ish terms, I guess.
Yeah. And they're cuddling.
Now they're snuggling. Yeah.
On top of the comforter.
And she's wet. I'm just saying, like, after the bath, I want to be under something. I am cold. And then, because Midas is a dude, and whatever, they end up banging, and it's not a fun read.
No. It's almost like the orgy at the beginning. Actually, I feel like this one was worse. Because he doesn't even get undressed.
Nope.
Can we talk about that?
He just unzips his pants. That's true.
Unbuttons his pants.
Yep. And
he moves his hips down enough for him to come out.
Yep.
But he takes all of her clothes off.
Well, she just came out of a bath. Did she actually have any clothes on?
Yeah.
Missed that part.
And
then she does all the work.
She does. She's definitely on top. Because he's still reclining on her bed.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then she does everything in her power for him to get off. Yep. Yes. And it's all about him and what she can do to make him happy. Yep. She knows all of his favorite moves, everything for him. And it's so gross to read. Like, I'm not saying that you shouldn't do some of that, right? Like, but it should go both ways, I guess is what I'm trying to say without getting us
There should
killed.
definitely be reciprocation.
Yes. After that college boy bang session that they
Right.
had, Oren cries. She lays down and she cries. And she cries because she still feels betrayed. She still feels hurt and manipulated. She still feels all of that. Nothing got better after that apology. Apology bangs are not all they're cracked up to be.
Also, his method for birth control in this situation
is the pull out and pray.
Yeah. Is I would have had to take a bath after my bath.
Yeah.
Because, yeah. So,
Ugh.
all right. So, after that,
the pity bang.
Yeah. Session, we see Midas talking to everybody, like
His
all of the,
constituents.
yeah, everybody that was there. It's him, his wife, and Oren on the throne, up in the throne room. He and Queen are sitting in their thrones. Oren is standing a few steps behind him, and then the 6 guards are behind her. It doesn't actually say 6 guards, but it's kind of implied because he has this fetish.
Yeah, yeah.
And he just spouts the biggest line of bullshit.
You know what?
About what happened.
Say what we want.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Say what we want about Midas, but he's a great politician.
And he can tell a tale.
Yep.
You know, he says that Folk was trying to stop Rot from taking over his borders. And that is why his people attacked. Folk was betrayed by one of his own men and assassinated by the messenger.
Which we know is false.
And Midas, out of the goodness of his heart and being the true savior that he is
Midas
going to go to the 5th
kingdom.
He's going to go to the 5th kingdom, and he's going to help with the running of that government until, how does he say it? Until the heir may come of age.
Yeah. Specifically may. Not will come.
Specifically may.
Or is coming, or maybe, possibly, might come of age if he's lucky. But to Midas's point, one, we don't know anything about Folk's heir.
Yeah, nothing.
At this point as readers. 2, in this world, you have to have magic to rule. Do we know if his heir has magic at this point? It probably hasn't
come of age yet.
Yeah, so we don't know if he's going to be able to rule.
But this is all about Midas, not just showing what a protector he is and, you know, letting people know he is the Golden King that will take care of everyone and be the protector. It's about solidifying his power. He has 6th kingdom, and now he's about to have 5th too.
He wants to rule the world. He's going to take over all of the kingdoms. It's his end goal. So, because Midas is going down to 5th, guess who has to go with him?
Who?
Oren.
Oh yeah,
the gilded pet. Yeah, the whole book is about her.
Yeah,
You've met her.
Yeah,
which means Oren gets to leave the cage for not bang reasons. Well, kind of bang reasons, but not.
Kind of bang reasons.
Yeah. She gets to leave.
I was gonna say it's her other job that is the cause of her leaving.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. But she gets to leave the cage, which is huge. She hasn't been outside in 10 years. We hear about that a lot in these chapters. She hasn't felt the sunshine. She hasn't felt the wind on her face. Any of that.
Yeah.
So leaving this cage it's emotional for her, right? It's been her safety net. It's been where she's felt the safest, where she's grown up. But yeah, I think she's ready. I think she's ready for this step towards freedom.
Yeah.
And I think she's scared but excited. So she's meandering her way to the carriage. She's not going to rush this. This is her first chance at actual freedom. She's meandering, and guess who sees her as she's getting ready to go into the carriage?
Queen
Melina, which means Midas lied to his wife.
Yeah. So we're going to go back for a second and say this is 3 weeks after Midas has left. And when he left, he had someone painted gold that he took with him so that people would think that Oren was with him already because she was never far from him. So this is the first time in a decade she hasn't had her king there with her.
That's true. I didn't think about that. They've never been separated that long.
Yeah. And Digby has stepped up, by the way, in this chapter. I mean, Digby steps up because Digby's the shit. But we talked before about how at night she didn't have a guard And we see in this chapter, it touches on how she's been having nightmares about what happened, and also nightmares about what would have happened had Kingfolk not been murdered. And when she wakes up, anytime she wakes up, Digby is already there.
I love Digby so much.
Yeah. I just want to know where he's sleeping, though.
Probably upright on a chair.
That's fair. I do accept that.
So yes, Queen Melina, she sees Orin. She's pissed.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that the Ice Queen is icy. I don't know how else to say that without repeating.
Mean.
She's just an icy bitch.
Well, she's bitter.
She's bitter.
We'll go bitter with bitter. And icy.
Yeah. She's furious that Orin's still there. She's humiliated that Midas has lied to her. And now she's suspicious. She knew that Midas was keeping secrets, but what other secrets is he keeping?
Exactly. And then she steps outside and she stops and just looks up and enjoys the not building around her.
Well, and she's also traveling at night, right? At this point. So
yes, they have to travel at night. They say that the reasoning is because it would be harder for spies to find them, to see them.
We know that the reasoning is Orin can't control her power.
Yeah.
And would gild everything that she touched when the sun is out.
Yes. But on the plus side, Orin and the other 12 saddles that are going to King Midas are going to be traveling in super style.
Well, it's Midas's carriages. You know they're
gilded.
Bougie. Yeah.
And yeah. And of course, like everything else, Orin is by herself in her own carriage. All of the other... I'm not going to say that all 12 of them are in the same carriage because I think it's split to like 3 per carriage or something like that. Because we know for a fact that Risa, Polly, and Rush, who is the super toned male, are all in a carriage together. But she is by herself in a carriage. But that's what they're going to do. They're going to travel, and it's supposed to only take 2 weeks. If
week
they're
and
lucky,
a half to 2 weeks.
A week and a half.
Yep.
Depending on the weather, which of course with Orin's luck.
Well, and they're in the Sixth Kingdom. It's known for not having good weather. That's their whole thing.
Exactly. But she doesn't enjoy sitting in the carriage. She does, however, wait until they leave
the castle.
Yeah. She waits until they're closer into the town. Once they're in town and on a more flat surface, she gets out and Digby's like, carriage. I feel like this poor man says this like for this entire chapter.
It's like his only words to her.
That's about all he says is carriage.
He just wants her to be safe, and it's much easier for him to keep an eye on her if she's in a carriage.
I agree. So this is where she gets on a horse. You could talk about horses better than I can, though.
Okay. So Orin jumps on a horse. She's riding astride, like a scandalous lady that she is. And for those who don't know, astride is one leg on either side, which is how you should ride, as opposed to side saddle, which is how the women typically ride. You know, you got to keep the goods protected.
The ladies.
Can't be jostling them. Anyway, we get introduced to her horse, Crisp, which is a great name for a horse. But here is where my beef starts, and I'm going to say this just because I grew up with horses, and I've showed horses, and I've had horses for 10 years. So I'm not an expert, but I have authority to speak on this. Crisp is described as pure white, which for any horse person out there knows that is incredibly rare, probably unlikely. The albino gene, the white gene, is usually lethal for horses. It's just white horses are exceedingly rare. Most of them are gray. So like if you peel back the fur, if you separate the fur on a horse and it's black underneath, it's actually a gray. I'm going to say that Crisp is a gray, and this is a hill I will die on. No one can talk me out of it. I am more okay with Orin's ribbons than I am with her having a white horse.
All right.
They're also described as short and shaggy, which makes me think that they're the Icelandic horses, which are short, shaggy horses bred to survive the cold. And that's where they're at. I will say that Raven did a good job, because at one point there is a line where it says, quote, tugging the right rein while pressing my left leg, and that is how you ride. Horses move away from pressure, so if you want the horse to go right, you use your left leg, and they move to the right. So props to Raven Kennedy for that one.
Do you think she had a Western saddle?
I
Because she
don't
almost
know.
lost the saddle, I know that, but she doesn't say anything about grabbing the
horn.
The horn on the front, which I know is a Western saddle, not an English saddle. Because
Yeah.
my brother rode horses too, but not for as long as you did.
I don't know. I never quite got a bearing on their equipment.
Okay.
My guess is it's probably like some sort of hybrid where it probably had like a higher pommel at the front part of the saddle than the regular English saddle, and maybe a higher cantle, the back part, just for extra security, especially for Oren, since she was not as experienced of a rider. And I'm assuming that if you're a soldier, like you would want more of a Western saddle vibe because you want the side pieces, the pommels, to kind of keep your thighs locked in, whereas an English saddle doesn't have that extra hardware to kind of keep you more locked in.
Okay.
Are you looking at a saddle?
No.
Okay.
My brain was just trying to process, and I had to look away to process.
I can picture it exactly what I'm thinking.
See, and I don't know enough about saddles to be able to do that.
I can send you.
I'm just trying to brain it. So my favorite part about her getting on the horse, though, is that we get to meet one of my favorite characters.
I love him so much.
Sail.
Let's talk about that name for a minute. Who names their kids Sail?
Poor people. Apparently, because
was he poor or was he just
slums?
Lower middle class?
He tells her later that he was basically raised in an area.
He was on the east side.
Was on the east side.
Yeah.
Which is just a step up from where they were on the south side.
Lower middle class.
Lower class. Upper lower class?
Upper lower class?
Yeah, because he was still poor.
Yeah.
He was most definitely poor.
But he treats her and the other saddles like actual humans.
Yes, and he gives her the respect that he thinks she deserves. But I think his mom beat that into him. I feel like his mom was somebody who was not afraid to use a wooden spoon, y'all.
Well, it sounded like
flip-flop, but I don't know if flip-flops exist when it's that cold.
That'd probably be a snow boot.
So I'm thinking maybe those things that you walk on.
The snowshoes.
Maybe one of those that looks like a tennis racket. Or for sure a wooden spoon, because I feel like his mom cooked.
Well, he had siblings, so I'm sure that...
I'm picturing Mrs. Weasley, only a little bit meaner.
Yeah. Yep, so, I can totally get that.
Yeah, but he's the one that tells her that sitting astride is the safer way to ride anyway, especially for what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Because they're traveling down a mountain, essentially.
Yeah. And he's a cutie patootie.
He is.
It says so in the book.
Exactly like that. Look up those words. Cutie patootie.
Yeah.
Now he's just a good boy next door kind of vibe is what I get from him.
Good-natured, funny, can't grow a beard. They actually focus on that.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
So I think that the reason they do that is to point out that he's young.
So young. So young.
He's probably like somewhere between 16 and 18 is my guess.
So sad.
Probably closer to 18, but he's young. And he's just a sweet boy.
He is. He is so sweet.
So
we love Sail.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he's with her while they walk through town.
Yes.
They're walking. They're not like running through town. A, they have days and days to go. And B, no one in their caravan is really used to the heavy travel, right? Like even the other saddles aren't used to weeks and weeks of travel time. So I don't
think you're gonna like gallop through a town anyway, unless you're a messenger that wants to tell your king that Midas fucked you in the A.
Sure. Good point. Yeah. But anyway, they're walking through the town and Oren notes that the people in the town, how they look at the saddles, how they respond to the saddles. It's not with lust. It's with, quote, violent carnal hunger and bitter jealousy. It's telling that that's how they look at the women and the men that are saddles in this world. The castle is no different than the rest of the world, it feels like.
Yeah. And that was just about the local saddles. So I don't even think, nobody knows that the people that are in this caravan are Midas's saddles,
Oh,
because
I
even
think they
Oren
do.
has her hood up.
Yeah, but they're traveling in his carriages.
That just means it's a party for Midas. It could be
True.
dignitaries. So,
But
because
don't they say
the
something about the saddles like waving topless and hooting and hollering?
yes, the ones in the town in their brothel.
Oh,
Yeah.
I remember that as the ones
That's how they were.
carriages.
Because some of them are calling out to sail, and I'm guessing they know his name because he's blushing, which means it's somebody that he's probably,
he might have grew
we'll
up
say,
with.
spoken to
Yeah.
or grown up with, because
I
they know
mean,
who he is, and he straight out says that he would never pay a woman.
I know. I love that about Sale.
He would not pay a woman for sex. So
Good for him.
that means that, one, his mom beat him hardcore when he would say bad things about saddles. And two, she taught him that if he wants to have some type of meaningful intimacy, that is not the way to do it.
Nope.
So,
Nope.
Again, Mama Weasley with a wooden spoon. And then they keep going.
And as they get further and further from the castle, the cityscape shifts.
Yes.
It goes from well lit, wide roads, well paved, taken care of roads,
Stone, 3-story buildings.
Yep. Everything's well maintained. Lively. Everything was super happy. Jovial, I think, is the word that they used. And as they keep going, it shifts and it's not as nice. The roads get more narrow. The streetlights get further apart. It gets darker. The buildings are more run down. They're not made of stone. They're made of wood, which does not handle winter weather as well as stone would. So they're in the shanties at this point. They're in the slums.
Definitely the slums.
Yeah. The sounds go from happy chatter, happy yelling, happy rejoicing sounds to babies crying, men shouting, and doors slamming. So it's a hard shift. I think Oren is confused, maybe by this. Confused and maybe even hurt. Oh, I don't know about hurt. I might be projecting a little bit on that one, but she's confused. She doesn't understand how the shanties can even exist, how the slums can even exist when Midas has all this gold and has access to all of this gold.
Yeah.
Like how is that possible to have that huge disconnect?
Yeah. And it really, I think it really bothers her on so many levels, because have we already spoiled this for you guys?
Probably.
Okay. If you've read...
Wait, major spoiler
if you've already read the book, but there is going to be a foreshadowing to it in this chapter. Orange, the one that is doing all the gilding, and she doesn't understand after everything she's gilded. Hell, the entire castle is gold.
Shoes are gold. Curtains are gold.
There is no reason for there to be a slums. And she is confused because she knows that Midas knows that that's where she came from. That's where he found her. He found her in the slums. And the fact that he allowed it to continue is what bothers her.
She equates it to a wound or an infection that he allowed to fester.
Exactly. And then...
Go ahead.
Nope, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
We interrupted each other. I was going to reiterate what you said. I think she struggles so much with it because she knows exactly what went into it and where she came from, and it's just a slap in the face to her.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I thought we were working for a better world. I thought we were working to make things better.
Because that's what he told her. And if you don't leave the castle, how are you going to know he's lying?
Well, she was locked in a cage. She didn't have much of a choice.
She partially chose that life.
It was safe and comfortable.
Yes.
She came from the shanties. She just wanted security.
Orange's response to seeing the shanties and then actually seeing the kids in the shanties is really telling about how disconnected she's been for the last decade and just how naive she is, because she sees the kids and she flashes back to how she was, because they're coming out of the alleyways and they're
dirty,
all just
they're
dirty
skinny,
and underfed, malnourished, I think is the word she used. And she's so sweet, and she sees them and wants to do something for them.
She wants to help. She did this
wrong, but
she did it with the right intentions.
She did. And actually, we'll see later that somebody else tries to do the same thing, and it actually is not good for them either. But we see her go back to her carriage and dig around and then walk over to these kids, which, by the way, Digby is like, no,
why are you stopping?
this
What
is
is
bad.
happening?
Do not
Get
do
back in the
this.
carriage. Yeah.
Carriage, Orin. Good, Orin. And even Sale is like, this is a bad idea.
Yeah.
But Digby is following her, and she stops in front of these kids and asks the little girls if they're princesses. And they were like, would a princess actually live in the shanties? And she pulls off her hood, which is so dumb. And they're like, oh, you're the golden saddle or
gilded princess
something.
or whatever. Yeah.
And she gives these like dozen kids gold coins.
She each wanted to help.
She did
this with the right intention.
She did it with the right intention, but I don't think she realizes how money works anymore, because she's surrounded by gold. So she's rich. It is what it is. She doesn't realize how money works anymore, because giving them an entire gold piece, they could buy like 3 houses in the shanties for that gold coin probably. And they're going to get killed.
Or beat up. Or
beaten to get this money.
Yeah.
And not only does she do that, the little girl that was in the front, who was, she said it was like 4 years old.
The smallest. Yeah.
The smallest one, she gives 3 gold coins.
One to hide, one to save, and one to use.
One to share.
One to share.
So, I mean, it tells us just how kind she is. She's really kind-hearted.
She's got good intentions.
But she has no idea what she's doing, because this almost causes a riot, especially since her hood is off.
Yeah, and everyone can see. And they're in the shanties, and poverty makes people desperate. Yes. It just does.
And somebody tries to attack her, and Digby, like, tackles him like football
does
style.
Not kill him.
And then she feels, when she realizes what she caused, because they do force her back in the carriage to get her out of here, because people are rushing up toward her because they want either money from her or part of her, you know, a lock of her hair, a strand of her hair, or something that they can sell for food or medicine or whatever. And she realizes, 1, that was really stupid what she just did. 2, she's never should have taken her hood off. And 3, she feels really guilty because she doesn't want the guards to hurt these people, because they've been hurt enough because they have to live in poverty.
I think the guards, how do I say this? I think the guards were a little bit more trigger happy in the shanties than they were, we'll say, downtown, closer to the castle. I think they were automatically a little bit more trigger happy because it was the shanties.
Yeah.
Because people are in poverty. And it's kind of like us driving through the bad part of town, right? We roll up the windows, we lock the door, we don't make eye contact. It's not flattering. It's not a good thing. It's something society definitely needs to deconstruct. But I think Raven did a really great job of pointing out, like, the guards were already trigger happy. Orin pulled this bullshit with great intentions, but she pulled this bullshit. And now she's making the guards' job that much harder.
10 times harder than it needed to be.
And yeah, I agree. I don't think Orin didn't want people hurt. She doesn't want people hurt. This whole book, she doesn't want to hurt people. Well,
I mean Midas, but that's not, you know what? That's
this
later.
book, she doesn't want people hurt.
Yeah.
She was locked away for 10 years. I don't know if I agree with your comment about how money works. I think she knows exactly how money works.
Yeah, okay. She probably does, but I don't think she realized that handing out gold in this area was just the worst idea ever.
I mean, she realized it immediately afterwards, but you've never done something and then been like, that was dumb.
I absolutely have. Like, probably yesterday. But it's not so dumb that somebody's going to try and attack me to cut off my hair.
Fine.
It just shows us how she's been sheltered for so long that it's hard for her to grasp.
It's hard when you have good intentions. How do you do that? Like, how would you have approached that situation to make
I
it
have no
right?
idea.
She saw something and she acted. It's the book in Risa's face all over again. She saw something, she acted.
But this is also where we get the foreshadowing.
What theories and or foreshadowing did you want to talk about?
No, I was going to say that this is the foreshadowing about, it's one of the hints where we start to wonder if maybe she's the one that has the gold.
Really? This is where you picked it up?
No, it's not. I picked it up way before this. But the line that you have on here, I wish the sun would come up sooner. I wish I could have bathed the street in gold. That's not her just wishful thinking like I want a fucking unicorn and a Pegasus. That's if the sun had been up, I would have touched the ground
Whole street
and made this whole street gold.
See, I missed that in my initial read. So
yeah,
but I did catch it in this deep dive.
But under the chilling cover of the night, helplessness weighs in my spirit. She feels like she could have fixed the poverty there in just one fell swoop of her hand.
What do you think the shanties would have turned into if she did turn everything gold?
Death, because she would have gilded everybody that lives there.
No, I
don't think she has enough control.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah. I think she has enough control that she would have maybe just done the street.
Maybe.
Well,
okay, yeah, I have to agree. I'm sorry. I'm thinking up to the next chapter, next book. The third book, Glint is all about her being on the road with the fourth kingdom. So in Gleam, we see her do something that shows that she does have at least that much control. So yeah, she would have at least turned just the street to gold.
In your defense, she has turned entire villages to gold before.
Yes, she has. That she has.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. That line, now that I'm doing my reread, I'm like, how the fuck did I miss this before? That the sun is her power. Like, she gets her power from the sun. And that she could gild. She's the gilder.
Yeah.
The one who gilds.
And she hates that feeling.
It's a lot of responsibility. A lot of weight to bear.
And I think that just the fact that she's so distraught about what's happening,
she knows she could fix
really
it.
Plays into it, because she knows that if it was daytime she could fix it. And it bothers her that she can't.
If it's just one thing, one silly little sun that's keeping her from it.
Exactly.
So do you think, like, on days like today where it's just gray and cloudy, she can't use her power even though the sun is technically out?
Oh no, I think she can still use her power.
Yeah,
because she uses it that entire decade.
True. Yeah, that's a good point.
It's like her whole body knows. Her body knows when the sun's out. It's just that she can't see it.
I don't know if I could live a decade without seeing the sun.
I don't think that I could. I don't think I could live a decade without being able to step outside.
Fair.
I mean, I know that I'm a bit of a hermit and like to be in my house. And there are days when I don't leave to run errands or anything. But I still have the ability to step outside.
Well, you can go on your porch and read, or you can go...
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
And she could not do that.
I would go insane.
So that bothers me.
So, do you like these chapters? How would you rank these chapters?
I actually think I like when she gets to escape. Not escape, but leave finally the house. She is escaping the house. So I think 16 and 17 are probably my favorite too.
I think that's when we really start getting more action. Like, I know we didn't really like talk a ton of action here, but you can tell things are starting to build up.
I absolutely hated chapter 14, which is the bath and the sex.
Yeah.
Just because it was...
So do you think, I mean, it wasn't like a super descriptive scene, right?
Thank gosh.
But do you think that was sex for the plot, or do you think that was sex for sex's sake?
I think that was sex for the plot because he was reinforcing his hold over Oren.
I agree. And telling us readers that she's doing everything in her power to make him happy.
Yeah.
With no regard to her own happiness. None.
Because there was no foreplay involved in that.
Mm-mm.
We don't. The only reason we know that she was even remotely ready is because she said something about it being so long since he touched her.
Yep.
And if you've gone that long...
It does not take much.
It does not take much. And you are ready.
Yeah. So...
But I like the ending, this, 20-some chapters of the book, the last half of the book are my favorite parts, because the first part, it's just really rough. Her being in Highbell, for me, was just a hard read.
It's a lot of abuse. It's a lot of narcissism to work through.
Yeah.
It's a lot of us yelling at her to be like, you deserve so much better.
I like the chapters that are without Midas more than I like the chapters with Midas. So, because like Sale, bless him, she needed someone closer to her own age.
She needed a friend. She just needed
that was a friend. He
a
has,
platonic,
there's no
heat.
nothing,
Yeah.
no expectations from him for her to give him anything
I mean, I think he would
other
appreciate
than conversation.
Yeah, I think he would appreciate like her following directions more. But yeah,
That's, whatever. But I mean, she really needed that, and we needed to see her be able to talk with another person her age, or just another person in general that would
no strings
treat her back. Talk back to her with no expectations, no strings, because we don't see it with the Saddles because that's a competition, and Midas has reinforced that over and over again by keeping her separate from them and calling her as precious and not letting anybody else use her. He's reinforced that competition with the other Saddles and just the isolation for her. So she needed contact that wasn't physical.
Yeah, I agree.
But I do want to point out that I think in chapter 15, Queen Melina does some nasty stuff behind the scenes.
Okay.
That we'll talk about the next chapter.
Yes, because I have different theories.
Series. Okay.
So when it comes up, we'll talk. But I think that's it. I think
that's anything else. I got nothing.
Thank you so much for listening to Corks and Cauldron. Be sure to follow us at Corks and Cauldron on all your favorite socials. We're on the Facebook, we're on the Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Threads.
And if you enjoyed this episode, please rate and review us. Share us with your book besties and tell the world. It's the best way to spread the word and help our podcast grow. Since Corks and Cauldron is a self-funded labor of love, your support helps us keep the magic alive.
And our glasses full.
So join our Patreon community today at patreon.com/corksandcauldron and maybe even treat us to a bottle of wine.
Our next episode drops next Thursday, and we'll dive deep into chapters 18 through 23.
And until then, eat,
drink,
and get lost in a good book.
Cheers.